Hey fellas, Onus here, and welcome back to With a Y, and today I have a rather odd topic for you. I mentioned it in yesterday's video, but the other night I found myself just browsing through Pokemon fusions from the fan game Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Basically, the goal of the game is to make it so that there is a fused version of every Pokemon combination you could possibly think of, but not just that, two of each version, where if you fuse them one way, you get one result, and then if you reverse the spots you're fusing them from, you get a different result. A lot of these can just be like generated from the base sprite of the Pokemon in question, but the ongoing effort of the project has been to create like a bunch of unique sprites for each combo, and it's led to some genuinely incredible looking stuff with like a lot of varied inspirations. Just looking at the Nidoking ones here, you have fun stuff like a reference to the Rathalos when you mix Talonflame and Nidoking. You have goofy ones that look kind of auto-generated, but one thing that I've noticed with these combos is that they can get absolutely freakish if just one Pokemon is thrown into the mix. Like the core concept of what a one particular Pokemon is could ruin any fusion it has with another. And what I've really noticed is some Miltank combos, dude. But if you fuse Miltank with itself, it just gets like 3 more pairs of udders. Just 16 nipples total, dude. It's absolutely insane, and this dude just becomes stat. There's no way something with this body proportions could actually sustain its body weight with these legs. And with the core conceit of Miltank being that it has udders and shoots milk, you can imagine like just how crazy some of the shit looks. So I thought it would be fun to just go over some of these and like just look at how insane they are, as well as like some of the designs that I actually am rather fond of. Also, if you're enjoying the video, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. We're almost at 300k and I'm really trying to hit it. It would mean a lot. Say you're an elemental Pokemon. It might make sense to replace whatever elemental bits that exist in your design are replaced with milk, like this Miltank Ninetales combo. Then you have the others where the udders just absolutely curse that Pokemon to looking chopped as hell. Like you have this Miltank design where they had to split the 2 udders between like the breastplates that they use as armor. That said, you can also see that there are alternate versions of each design. Like I think of these 3, my favorite is the Moonlight Magician one. It seems like they almost turned them into like an ice cream sundae sort of thing where they got like, I don't know, cinnamon crackers and shit in there. But the vast majority of these just look absolutely ridiculous. Pikachu, under no circumstances, should have udders. Others, like with Ekans, like this dude gets 2 fucking udder prongs on his front, but he shoots milk out the back. It makes no sense. I think the ones that I appreciate the most are like when these just turn into gags. Like the combination with Mankey just turns him into a guy who's like building protein and just really obsessed with drinking like raw milk. Like some of these sprites are just expertly made no matter what, and I personally like the one where Primeape is just sipping the milk like he's chugging Gatorade after a really long cardio session. One thing you'll notice with Tentacruel is that it just looks tweaked out of its mind at all fucking times. Every single one of its appendages has been cursed to just, I don't know, actively shoot milk, even when in combat, dude. This one looks like it's actively suffering. Like the Tentacruel base one on the left looks like it's in a worse spot, but like it's more chilling. It's just been actively chuddified with its udders replaced for tentacles, and the tail as well, I suppose. I really like the Miltank / Sudowoodo one where he's just carrying buckets of milk from somewhere to somewhere. He's a one-man farming operation. He just milks himself and then he sells that on the market. The people who are going for turning these combos into, I don't know, milk or dairy-based sweet treats as Pokemon fusions, I'm a big fan of. Like the graham crackers with the s'mores and chocolate on top, I think that's fucking dope. Sudowoodo / Miltank, on the other hand, is just absolutely going through it, man. The second you're cursed of having the Miltank sitting down sprite as your base, like I feel like there's just no options for you. He's got like 4 tree branches that look like they could be Gatling guns that he just shoots fucking rocks at people with. Bullet rock's a move, right? Oh, I think I was thinking of Bullet Seed. Doesn't really work and doesn't make this metaphor anymore PG. Scizor over here just loses any ounce of attack power it had because its pincers get turned into Pac-Man shapes, wheels of cheese. Like, can you even close those anymore, man? I think you have to switch to being a vegetarian who eats only grass. You are not hunting other bug types to just shovel into your mouth anymore, man. It's fucking over for you. Now, I'm going on the Infinite Fusion Dex website here, and some of the pathing for what each fusion actually looks like is a little out of date, I think. Because we were just looking at Tentacruel a minute ago, and I think, like, this new version of it, like, just looks absolutely fucking insane. Like, I'm actually a big fan of this design as a creature. I'm not really sure where the Miltank fits in here. I think it might have gotten its wires crossed. The Mismagius / Miltank combo just looks like it's hiding its udders under, oh, my belly's so fucking round. And then it just removes its cloak to just like start shooting absolute fucking ropes. Again, I think the sweet treat version of these combos are a lot easier on the eye over here. Like they seem almost thematically appetizing. It's like, wow, what a really creative idea. They took their hat and turned it into like a whipped cream topping. That's so smart. The other option is udders. Udders for everybody, utterly everywhere. When you mix them with legendaries, it just gets even more ridiculous. Like, look at what they're fucking doing to Arceus over here, man. When it's in Miltank form, it just looks like a really pudgy and smaller and less imposing than it should be, but it still gets like its signature arches made out of milk instead this time. But when it's using Arceus as the base form, it just looks like a gigantic shitpost. Like, why is the Miltank looking at me all cheeky like? It's like, ooh, I have ultimate power over the universe and there's nothing you can do about it. Thanks, man, that's really comforting, and I really trust you at the helm with that power personally. I feel like Miltank falls into a category of Pokemon that is just like really fun to sprite, and you're not really focused on making the combination have aura. You're just trying to make it a kind of believable concept. Like, I think this Zoroark slash Miltank is actually some pretty good creature design, but like when you know what the inspirations are and what these dots that have been apparently just sanded down to a flat spot on the belly, just it kills your immersion immediately. The Miltank Zoroark combo with the Custard Blaster, though, almost makes it seem like a Ghostbuster, which I'm actually a pretty big fan of. They seem like they're having a good time doing their job. Reshiram slash Miltank just turns into a Reshiram themed Milkman. When you're using Reshiram as the base sprite to edit, it almost seems less threatening. It's always just a cheeky, more creamy version of whatever the legendary looked like before, but it always feels like a shitpost. Oh fuck, okay, I think this might be the absolute best one so far. Trevenant slash Miltank. This guy over here looks fucking crazy. Replacing like the milk that Miltank seeps out with honey slash sap instead is like a great use of the grass typing. And I like that the wood on this thing is more like armor that's protecting the inner eye, and it just takes the shape of a cow. Again, when you're using the Miltank colorways instead though, it just feels like that Pokemon doesn't take anything serious. And the horns are implied to be made out of milk, which, again, like, it's just really fucking up the whole vibe for me. I think that Trevenant combo is my favorite so far though. Delphox slash Miltank actually whips kind of hard, where it's still like a witch going on a broom, but like the things that it propels itself to fly with isn't just straight magic. It's all natural. They did Lugia so fucking dirty on this one. Like, you had a choice to make here, and we got both options here. You could move the udders to the spines on Lugia's back, where at least like it looks the same as the placement on the original Lugia sprite. And sure, we can like just visually trick ourselves into thinking that the milk it dispenses are clouds and it's just an aesthetic effect. Or you could do the one on the left where you just put the udders where they belonged on Miltank. The thing that I find insane about this option here is that they decided to just put the extendo on these udders, man. They were not this fucking long on any version of the sprite I've seen so far. They're just hanging out like intestines that got cut open on its belly and they never bothered to shove back in. Tangrowth damn near looks the same. Instead of being made out of blue vines though, it's made out of flesh and ground beef, and it's dripping. It's fucked up that Miltank Deoxys almost makes sense if like you don't look at the little chud version on the right. Deoxys is inherently a shape-shifting Pokemon, and it has like kind of tentacle-like limbs as it stands, so fuck it, why not give it 8 more? But this time it like secretes milk out of them in like the most fucking disgusting thing I've ever seen. The shit that's tripping me up about this is it looks like it's got like an Iron Man bodysuit on and like an arc reactor in the middle. It's like you need to power up the fucking machines on these goddamn things to get them moving. Miltank slash Sableye, where instead of being obsessed with really big gemstones, it has a giant block of cheese. Conceptually, one of the ones that are more easy to stomach out of the crop we've looked at, but I think they fucked up my boy's face, man. It wasn't fair what they did to you. It's like having a haircut if it was for the entire shape of your head. This Glalie one is unfortunately creative as hell, but it's fucking me up because I thought Glalie still had a face on the front for a second. Then I realized it's a giant meteor, once again, made out of cheese, and it just has 2 Snorunts poking out of the top of its head to serve as its horns. And they themselves have little horns and fucking arms. Is this like a Hydreigon deal where it's multiple consciousness in one, like having to all put up with each other? A truly unfortunate fate. Of all the designs that I've seen, I think the only one that I can say safely look cool are the Revenant combo and the Golisopod combo. Like, I've always thought that Golisopod just looks cool as shit, like with his crustacean armor. And honestly, the only real thing they did here was recolor the sprite so that it was Miltank, and they had the good sense and mercy on our eyes to actually hide where the udders would be by making it hunch over so I have plausible deniability on if they're there or not. I think we can end that on a good note. I'm gonna be honest, like, I really enjoyed going over this site because most of what I saw across the whole place was actually like just really fucking cool design work, and while it's fun to look at these fucked up ones, I actually would have a lot of fun just going over the fusions of Pokemon that I think have high potential to have raw aura. Anyways, that's all I got. That email's in the description if you guys want to send me any video topics. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at @withAY and subscribe with notifications on. Anyways, piss off.